I want to bring up a topic and we'll see how it goes. But I want an actual conversation, not arguing, not criticizing. Like, let's actually have a conversation. Do I think that anyone can be more autistic than deaf? No. Do I think anyone can be more Down syndrome than deaf? No. You can't be more than. But when we are talking about academic impact and talking about best fit, we need to remember that not all state schools are in big cities, big areas. Sulphur's, or Oklahoma, is in Sulphur. Ooh. And it's because before, the hearing families would send their kids away. That's why we are so separate from the bigger cities. But that also causes staffing to find, train, hire, keep is a struggle. And the deaf community has the same struggle as the autism community, where some people would prefer not include some people who present as lower functioning. There's not a polite way to say it, and I don't believe it's true. So, but they don't want the face of autism to be my brother. They don't want the face of deaf to be my daughter. Because those communities are already judged, already criticized, already looked down on. Why would we want to prove you right? Okay. My problem is some of the people who higher functioning, they forget we're all the same damn spectrum. My deaf and hard of hearing people forget we are all deaf when we are tied and we need each other. My kids who are in public school need access to signals to change class, handshake letters. They need access to information. I have never met a public school teacher who I felt was just not doing their job. They're doing their best and often researching, but you know how much information is about deaf autism? Boo! And most of us who know and have experience in education training about it are stuck working nonstop with the kids who got to us. So instead of just constantly beating up each other and criticizing, we need to start sharing open information. I realize that OSD, like the state, most likely your state deaf school is your state deaf resource. But when the deaf community is not familiar with autism, and the autism community is not familiar with deaf and hard of hearing, your basic baby sign, my awesome RBTs, registered behavior technician, you don't know deaf. You don't know language deprivation. In all love and light and happy, good vibes, you don't know, and you don't know what you don't know. but you are playing with kids who need deaf and hard of hearing influence. When they talk about how deaf kids need deaf adults, your kid who arrives home and is sensitive, yeah, they got pulled on all day because the kids don't know how to get their attention. Teachers don't know. For an autistic kid, tell me how that's not overwhelming and overstimulating. How do they know? How do they know how to do better? We as a community, we as, not expert, I am not an expert, but people who know. If you know, if you have the skills, if you have the understanding, if you can help. My 2 cents.